Welcome back to this Bible reading series, and today we are in the second episode of First Chronicle, and now we are starting from chapter 14. My name is Joseph Njenga, and without much ado, let's proceed. Chapter 14. And Hiram, sovereign of Saul, sent messengers to David and cedar trees, with stone masons and carpenters, to build him a house. And David knew that Yahweh has established him as sovereign over Israel, for his reign was highly exalted for the sake of his people Israel. And David took more wives in Jerusalem, and David brought forth more sons and daughters. And these are the sons of his children whom he had in Jerusalem: Shammua and Shobab, Nathan and Shemolo, and Yibhar, and Elishua, and Elpelet, and Noga, and Nepheg, and Yaphia, and Elishama, and Beliada, and Eliphebet. And when the Philistines heard that David had been anointed sovereign over all Israel, all the Philistines went up to seek David, and David heard that and went out against them. And the Philistines came and made a raid on the valley of Rephaim, and David inquired of Yahweh, saying, Do I go up against the Philistines, and shall you give them into my hand? And Yahweh said to him, Go up, and I shall give them into your hand. And they went up to Baal-Perazim, and David smote them there. Then David said, Yahweh has broken through my enemies by my hand like a breakthrough of water. So they called the name of that place Baal-Perazim, and they left their mighty ones there. So David commanded, and they were burned with fire. And the Philistines once again made a raid on the valley. And David again inquired of Yahweh, and Yahweh said to him, Do not go up after them. Go around them and come upon them in front of the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when you hear a sound of stepping into the tops of mulberry trees, then go out to battle, for Yahweh shall go out before you to smite the camp of the Philistines. And David said as Elohim commanded him, and they drove back the enemy of the Philistine from Gibeon as far as Gezer. And the name of David went out into all lands, and Yahweh put the dread of him upon all nations. Chapter 15. And he built houses for himself in the city of David, and he prepared a place for the ark of Yahweh, and pitched a tent for it. Then David said, No one is to lift the ark of Yahweh but the Levites, for Yahweh has chosen them to lift the ark of Yahweh and to serve him forever. And David assembled all Israel at Jerusalem to bring up the ark of Yahweh to its place, which he had prepared for it. And David gathered the children of Aaron and the Levites, and of the sons of Kehath, Uriel the chief, and 120 of his brothers. Of the son of Merari, Asaiah the chief, and 220 of his brothers. Of the sons of Gershom, Joel the chief, and 130 of his brothers. Of the son of Elisaphan, Shemaiah the chief, and 200 of his brothers. Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief, and 80 of his brothers. The son of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief, and 112 of his brothers. And David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priest, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, and Joel, Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadab. and said to them, You are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites. Set yourself apart, you and your brothers, then you shall bring up the ark of Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, to the place I have prepared for it. Because you did not do it in the first time, Yahweh our Elohim broke out against us, because we did not ask him about the right ruling. So the priest and the Levites set themselves apart to bring up the ark of Yahweh, Elohim of Israel. And the children of the Levites bore the ark of Elohim on their shoulders by its poles, as Moshe had commanded according to the word of Yahweh. And David spoke to the leaders of the Levites to appoint their brothers to the singers with instruments of songs, harps, and lyres, and cymbals to lift up the voice with joy. And Levites appointed Heman son of Yoel and his brothers, Asaph son of Berechiahu, and of their brothers, the sons of Merari, Ethan son of Hushahu, and with them their brothers of the second rank, Zechariahu, Ben, and Yaziel, and Shemiramoth, and Yeziel, and Uni, Eliab, and Beniahu, and Maasiahu, and Matiahu, and Eliflehu, and Mechnayahu, and Obed-Edom, and Yeiel, the gatekeepers. And the singers, Haman, Asaph, and Ethan, was to sound the cymbals of bronze, and Zechariah, and Aziel, and Shemramoth, and Yehiel, and Unni, and Eliab, and Marziahu, and Beneahu, with harps according to Alamoth, and Matiahu, and Eliphelethu, and Mikshahu, and Obed-Edom, and Yisrael, and Azaziahu, to lead with the lyres of the Sheminith, and Kenaniahu, leader of the Levites, in the song, because he was killed. And Berechiah and Elkanah were doorkeepers for the ark. And Shebaniahu, and Yoshaphat, and Nathaniel, and Amasai, and Zechariahu, and Benaiahu, and Eliezer the priest were to blow the trumpets before the ark of Yahweh, and Obed-Edom and Yehiah were doorkeepers of the ark. And it was David and the elders of Israel and the commanders over thousands who went to bring out the ark of covenant of Yahweh from the house of Obed-Edom with joy. And it came to be, when Yahweh helped the Levites who bore the ark of the covenants of Yahweh, that they offered 7 bulls and 7 rams. And David was dressed in a robe of fine linen, as were all the Levites who bore the ark, the singers, and Kenaniah, the leader of the service with the singers. And David wore a linen shoulder garment. So all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of Yahweh with shouting and with the sound of the horn, with trumpet and with cymbals, sounding with harp and lyres. And it came to be, as the ark of the covenant of Yahweh came to the city of David, the Michal, the daughter of Shaul, looking through a window, saw sovereign David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart. And chapter 16. And they brought the ark of Elohim and set it in the midst of the tent that David had pitched for it, and they brought burnt offering and peace offerings before Elohim. And when David had made an end of the following offering, the burnt offering and the peace offering, he blessed the people in the name of Yahweh, and gave a portion to everyone of Israel, both man and women, to everyone a loaf of bread, a measure, and a cake of raisins. And he appointed some of the Levites to serve before the ark of Yahweh, to bring to remembrance and to thank and to praise Yahweh Elohim of Israel. Asaph the chief and his second Zechariah, Yehiel, and Shemiramoth, and Yehiel, and Mattiah, and Eliab, and Benyahu, and Obed-Edom, and Yehiel with the harps and the lyres, but Asaph was sounding with his cymbals. And Benyahu, and Banayahu, and Yahaziel the priest continually blew the trumpets before ark of the covenant of Yahweh. And on that day David first gave thanks to Yahweh by the hand of Asaph and his brothers. Give thanks to Yahweh, call upon his name, make known his deed among the people, sing to him, sing praise to him, speak of all his wonders, boast his set apart name. Let the hearts of those seeking Yahweh rejoice. Seek Yahweh and his strength, seek his face continually. Remember his wonders which he has done, his signs and the right doing of his mouth. O seed of Israel, his servant, O children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Yahweh our Elohim. His right rulings are in all the earth. Remember his covenant forever, the word he commanded for 1,000 generations, which he has made with Abraham, and his oath to Isaac, and he established it to Jacob for a law, for Israel as an everlasting covenant, saying, to you I give the land of Canaan, the portion of your inheritance, when you are at few in number, few indeed, and sojourners in it. And they went up and down from one nation to another, and from one reign to another people. He allowed no one to oppress them, and he proved sovereigns for their sakes, saying, do not touch my anointed ones, and do my prophets no evil. Sing to Yahweh all the earth, proclaim his deliverance from day to day. Declare his esteem among the nations, his wonders among all people. For great is Yahweh and greatly to be praised, and he is to be feared above all mighty ones. For all the mighty ones of the people are matters of naught, but Yahweh made the heavens. Excellency and splendor are before him, strength and gladness are in his place. Ascribe to Yahweh, O clans of the people. Ascribe to Yahweh esteem and strength. Ascribe to Yahweh the esteem of his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Bow yourself to Yahweh in the splendor of set apartness. Tremble before him are all the earth. The world also is firmly established, immovable. Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth be glad, and let them say among the nations, Yahweh shall reign. Let the sea roar, and all that fills it. Let the field rejoice, and all that is in it. Let the trees of the forest then sing before Yahweh. For he shall come to judge the earth. Give thanks to Yahweh, for his good, for his kindness is everlasting. And say, save us, O Elohim of our deliverance, and gather us together, and deliver us from the Gentiles, to give thanks to your set apart name, and to boast in your praise. Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Israel from everlasting to everlasting. And all people said, Amen, and praised Yahweh. So he left Asaph and his brothers there before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh to perform regular services before the ark as each day required. Also Obed-Edom with his 68 brothers, including Obed-Edom, son of Yehudum, and Osah to be gatekeepers, and Zadok the priest and his brothers, the priest before the dwelling place of Yahweh at the high place that was a Gibbon, to offer burnt offering to Yahweh on the altar of burnt offering regularly, morning and evening, and to do according to all that is written in the Torah of Yahweh, which he commanded Israel. And with them Heman and Yeduthun and the rest who were chosen, who were designated by name, to give thanks to Yahweh, because his kindness is everlasting. And with them Heman and Yeduthun to sound aloud with trumpets and cymbals and instruments for the song of Yahweh, and the sons of Yeduthun for the gate. And all the people went, each one to his house, and David returned to bless his house. Chapter 17. And it came to be, when David was dwelling in his house, that David said to Nathan the prophet, See, I am dwelling in a house of cedar, but the ark of the covenant of Yahweh is under curtains. And Nathan said to David, Do all that is in your heart, for Yahweh is with you. And it came to be that night that the word of Yahweh came to Nathan, saying, Go, and you shall say to my servant David, Thus said Yahweh, You do not build me a house to dwell in, for I have not dwelt in a house since the time that I brought up Israel up to this day, but have gone from tent to tent, and from one dwelling place to another. Wherever I have moved about with all Israel, I have ever spoken a word to any of the rulers of Israel, whom I commanded to shepherd my people, saying, Why have you not built me a house of cedar? And now say this to my servant David, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, I took you from the sheepfold, from following the sheep, and to be ruler over my people Israel. And I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have cut off all your enemies from before you, and have made you a name like the name of the great men who are on the earth. And I shall prepare a place for my people Israel, and plant them, and they shall dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, nor shall the sons of wickedness oppress them any more, as at the first, since the time that I commanded rulers to be over my people Israel. And I have humbled all your enemies, and I declared to you that Yahweh does build you a house. And it shall be, when your days are filled to go to be with your father, and that I shall raise up your seed after you, who is of your sons, and I shall establish his reign. He does build me a house, and I shall establish him throne forever. I am to be his father, and he is to be my son, and my kindness I do not turn away from him, as I took it from him who was before you. And I shall establish him in my house and in my reign forever, and let his throne be established forever. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak to David. And sovereign David came in and sat before Yahweh and said, Who am I, O Yahweh Elohim, that my house and what is my house that you have brought me this far? And this was a small matter in your eyes, O Yahweh, but you have spoken of your servant's house for a great while to come, and have looked upon me as though I were an exalted man, O Yahweh Elohim. What more could David add to you for the esteem of your servant, for you know your servant, O Yahweh, for your servant's sake, and according to your own heart, you have done all his greatness in making known all these great matters. O Yahweh, there is none like you, nor is there any Elohim beside you, according to all that have been heard with our ears. And who is like your people Israel, the one nation of the on the earth whom Yahweh went to redeem for himself as a people, to make for yourself a great and awesome name, by driving out nations from before your people, whom you redeemed from Israel. For you appointed your people Israel to be your own people forever, and you, Yahweh, have become their Elohim. And now, O Yahweh, the word which you have spoken concerning your servant and concerning his house, let it stand fast forever, and do as you have said. So let it stand fast, and your name be great forever, saying, Yahweh of hosts, Elohim of Israel, is Elohim to Israel. And let the house of your servant David be established before you. For you, O my Elohim, have revealed to your servant to build a house for him. Therefore, your servant has found courage to pray before you. And now, Yahweh, you are my Elohim, and have promised this goodness to your servant. And now you have been pleased to bless the house of your servant to be before you forever. For you have blessed it, O Yahweh, and it is blessed forever. Chapter 18. And after this it came to be that David smote the Philistines and humbled them, and took Gath and its town from the hand of the Philistines, and smote the Moabites, and the Moabites became David's servant and brought presents. And David smote Hadadezer, sovereign of Sobar, as far as Hamath, as he went to establish his power by the river Euphrates. And David took from him 1,000 chariots, and 7,000 horsemen, and 20,000 foot soldiers. And David also hamstrung all the chariots' horses, but left them for 100 chariots. And when Aram of Damascus came to help Hadadezer, sovereign of Sobar, David smote 22,000 of the Aram. And David stationed men in Aram of Damascus, and the Aramean became David's servants and brought presents, and Yahweh saved David whenever he went. And David took the shield of gold that were on the servants of Hadadezer and brought them to Jerusalem, and from Tibhath and from Kun, cities of Hadadezer, David brought a large amount of bronze, with which Shemolo made the bronze sea, and the columns and the vessels of bronze. And when Tou, sovereign of Hamath, heard that David had smitten all the army of Hadadezer, sovereign of Sobar, he sent Hadoram his son to sovereign David to ask peace of him and bless him, because he had fought against Hadadezer and smote him, because Hadadezer had been fighting against Tou with all kind of objects of gold and silver and bronze. Sovereign David also sent this part to Yahweh, along with the silver and gold that he had brought from all the nations, from Edom and from Moab, and from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines, and from Amalek. And Abishai, son of Zeruiah, smote 18,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt, and he put watch post in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants, and Yahweh saved David wherever he went. So David reigned over all Israel, and he was doing right ruling and righteousness to all his people. And Joab, son of Zeruiah, was over the army, and Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was recorder. And Zadok, son of Ahitub, and Abimelech, son of Abiathar, were the priests, and Shausha was the scribe. And Benyahu, son of Jehoiada, Jehoiada was over the Kerethites and Pelethites, and the sons of David were chiefs at the sovereign side. Chapter 19. And after this it came to be that Nahash, the sovereign of the children of Ammon, died, and his son reigned in his place. And David said, Let me show kindness to Hanun, son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness to me. So David sent messengers to comfort him concerning his father, and the servants of David came to Hanun in the land of the children of Ammon to comfort him. And the chiefs of the children of Ammon said to Hanun, Is David esteeming your father in your eyes because he has sent comforters to you? Have his servants not come to you to search and to overthrow and to spy out the land? So Hanun took David's servant and shaved them and cut off their garments in the middle and their buttocks and sent them away. And when some went and informed David about the men, he sent to meet them because the men were greatly ashamed. And the sovereign said, Remain at Jericho until your birds have grown, then return. And when the children of Ammon saw that they had made themselves a stench to David, Hanun and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire chariots and horsemen from Aram Naharaim and from Aram Maacah and from Trobah. So they had for themselves 32,000 chariots with the sovereign of Maacah and his people, who came and encamped before Medeba. And the children of Ammon had gathered from their cities and came to battle. And when David heard, he sent Joab and the entire army of the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put themselves in the battle array before the gate of the city, and the sovereigns who had come were by themselves in the field. And when Joab saw that a battle had been set against him before and behind, he chose some of the choice ones of Israel and put them in a battle array to meet Aram. And the rest of the people he put under the command of Abishai his brother, and he set by themselves in battle array to meet the children of Ammon, and said, If Aram is too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the children of Ammon are too strong for you, then I shall help you. Be strong, and let us show strength for our people and for the cities of our Elohim, and let Yahweh do what is good in his eyes. And Joab drew near, and the people with him, and battled against Aram, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Arameans were fleeing, they also fled before Abishai his brother, and went into the city. And Joab came to Jerusalem. And when Aram saw that they had been smitten before Israel, they sent messengers and brought the Arameans who were beyond the river. And Shofak, the commander of Hadadezer's army, went before them. And it was reported to David, and he gathered all Israel and passed over the Yarden and came upon them and set up in battle array against them. And David set up in battle array against Aram, and they fought with him. And Aram fled before Israel, and David slew 7,000 charioteers and 40,000 foot soldiers of the Aramean, and smote Shofak the commander of the army. And the servants of Hadadezer saw that they were smitten by Israel, and they made peace with David and became his servants. And the Aramean would not help the children of Ammon anymore. Chapter 20. And it came to be at the turn of the year, at the time sovereigns go out to battle, that Joab led out the power of the army and destroyed the land of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem, and Joab smote Rabbah and overthrew it. And David took their sovereign's crown from his head, and found it unweighted, a talent of gold, and there were precious stones in it. And it was set on David's head, and he also brought out the spoil of the city, a very great amount. And he brought out the people who were in it, and put them to work with saws, and with iron picks, and with axes. And thus David did to all the cities of the children of Ammon. Then David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. And afterward it came to be that fighting broke out at Gezer with the Philistines. Then Sibekai the Hushathite smote Sipai of the sons of the giant, and they were humble. And there was fighting again with the Philistines, and Elhanan son of Yair smote Lami the brother of Goliath the Gittite. The shaft of whose spear was like a shiver's beam. And there was fighting against Agath, where there was a man of great size, with 24 fingers and toes, 6 and 6. And he too was born to the giant. And he reproached Israel, and Jonathan son of Shema, David's brother, smote him. These were born to be giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Chapter 21. And Satan stood up against Israel and moved David to number Israel. And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, Go, number Israel from Beersheba to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, so that I know it. And Joab answered, Yahweh does add to his people 100 times more than they are. But my master, the sovereign, are they not all my master's servant? Why does my master seek to do this? Why should he be a cause of guilt in Israel? But the sovereign's word prevailed against Joab, and Joab left and went throughout all Israel and came to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the number of the people to David, and all Israel had 1,100,000 men who drew the sword, and Yehudah had 470,000 men who drew the sword. But he did not number Levi and Benjamin among them, for the sovereign's word was loathsome to Joab. And it was evil in the eyes of Yahweh concerning this matter, and he smote Israel. And David said to Elohim, I have sinned greatly because I have done this matter. But now I pray, take away the crookedness of your servant, for I have done very foolishly. And Yahweh smote to Gad, and Yahweh spoke to Gad, David's seer, saying, Go, and you shall speak to David, saying, Thus said Yahweh, I hold 3 options before you. Choose one of them for yourself, and I do it for you. So God came to David and said to him, Thus said Yahweh, choose for yourself either 3 years of scarcity of food, or 3 months to be defeated by your foes with the sword of your enemies overtaking you, or else for 3 days of the sword of Yahweh, even the plague in the land with the messenger of Yahweh, destroying throughout all the borders of Israel. And now consider that what answer I am to return to him who sent me. And David said to God, I am in great trouble. Please let me fall in the hands of Yahweh, for his compassion is very great, but do not let me fall in the hand of man. And Yahweh sent a plague upon Israel, and 70,000 men of Israel fell. And Yahweh sent a messenger to Jerusalem to destroy it, and as he was destroying, Yahweh saw and relented upon the evil and said to the messenger who was destroying, Enough! Now stop your hand. And the messenger of Yahweh was standing by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David lifted his eyes and saw the messenger of Yahweh standing between earth and the heaven, having in his hand a drawn sword stretched out over Jerusalem. And David and the elders dropped in sackcloth, fell on their faces. And David said to Elohim, Was it not I who commanded the people to be numbered? I am the one who has sinned and done evil indeed. But this, the sheep, what have they done? Let your hand, I pray, O Yahweh my Elohim, be against me and my father's house, but not against your people, to be plagued. And the messenger of Yahweh commanded God to say to David that David should go up to raise an altar to Yahweh on the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. So David went up at the word of God, which he had spoken in the name of Yahweh. And Ornan turned and saw the messenger, and his 4 sons with him hid themselves, and Ornan was threshing wheat. And David came to Ornan, and Ornan looked and saw David, and he went out from the threshing floor and bowed down to David with his face to the ground. And David said to Ornan, Give me the site of the threshing floor, so that I build an altar to Yahweh on it. Give it to me at the complete price, so that the plague is restrained from the people. And Ornan said to David, Take it for yourself, and let my master the servant do what is good in his eyes. See, I shall give you the cattle for burnt offering, the threshing implement for wood, and the wheat for the grain offering. I give it all. And Sovereign David said to Ornan, No, but I shall certainly buy it at the complete price, for I do not take what is yours for Yahweh. Now offer a burnt offering without cost, nor offer a burnt offering without cost. And David built there an altar to Yahweh, and offered burnt offering and peace offering, and came and called on Yahweh, and he answered him, and from the heaven by fire on the altar of burnt offering. Then Yahweh commanded the messenger and returned his sword to its sheath. At that time, when David saw that Yahweh had answered him on the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. He slaughtered there. For the dwelling place of Yahweh and the altar of the burnt offering which Moshe had made in the wilderness were at that time at the high place in Gibeon. But David was unable to go before it to inquire of Yahweh, for he was afraid of the sword of the messenger of Yahweh. Chapter 22. David then said, "This is the house of Yahweh Elohim, and this is to the altar of burnt offering for Israel." And David commanded to gather the foreigners who were in the land of Israel, and he appointed stonemason to cut hewn stone to build the house of Yahweh. And David prepared large quantities of iron from the nails of the door of the gates and for the clamps, and more bronze than could be weighed, and cedar trees beyond numbers, for the Sidonians and those from Saul brought much cedar wood to David. And David said, "Shemolo my son is young and tender, and the house that is to be built for Yahweh is to be exceedingly great, for a splendid name. To all the lands, please, let me make preparation for it." So David made extensive preparations before his death. He also called for his son Shemolo and commanded him to build a house for Yahweh Elohim of Israel. And David said to Shemolo, "My son, as for me, it has been in my heart to build a house to the name of Yahweh my Elohim. But the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, You have shed much blood and have fought a great battle. You do not build a house for my name, because you have shed much blood on the earth in my presence. See, a son is to be born to you, who is a man of rest, and I shall give him rest from all his enemies all around, for Shemolo is his name, and peace and rest I give to Israel in his days." Shelomo. He does build a house for my name, and is to be my son, and I am to be his father, and I shall establish the throne of his reign over Israel forever. Now, my son, Yahweh be with you. Then you shall prosper and build the house of Yahweh your Elohim, as he has said to you. Only let Yahweh give you wisdom, understanding, and command you concerning Israel, so that you guard the Torah of Yahweh your Elohim. Then you shall prosper if you guard to do the laws and right ruling with which Yahweh commanded Moshe concerning Israel. Be strong and enough. Be strong and brave, do not fear nor be discouraged. See, in my affliction I have prepared for the house of Yahweh 100,000 talents of gold and 1,000,000 talents of silver and bronze and iron beyond measure, for it is plenty. And I have prepared timber and stone, and you shall add to them. And with you there are many workmen, hewers, and workers of stone and timbers, and all types of skilled men for every kind of work, of gold and silver and bronze and iron. There is no limit. Rise up and do, and Yahweh is with you." And David commanded all the rulers of Israel to help Shelomo his son, saying, Is not Yahweh your Elohim with you, and hath not given you rest all around? For he has given the establishment of the land into my hand, and the land has been shed before Yahweh and before his people. Now give your heart and your being to seek Yahweh your Elohim, and rise up and build the set-apart place of Yahweh Elohim, to bring the Ark of Covenant of Yahweh and the set-apart vessels of Elohim into the house that is to be built for the name. Chapter 23. And David was old and satisfied with days, and he made his son Shlomo to reign over Israel. And he gathered all the rulers of Israel, with the priests and the Levites, the age of 30 years and above, and their number head by head, and 38,000 males. Of this, 24,000 were to oversee the work of Yahweh, the work of the house of Yahweh, and 6,000 were officers and judges, and 4,000 were gatekeepers, and 4,000 to give praise to Yahweh, which I meant for giving praise. And David divided them into divisions of the sons of Levi, of Gershon, Kehaz, and Merari, of the Gershonites, Ladan and Shimi. The sons of Ladan, Yehiel the head, then Zetham and Joel 3. The sons of Shimi, Shilomith and Haziel and Haran 3. These were the heads and of the office of the father's house of Ladan. And the sons of Shimi, Yahath, Zina, and Yehush, and Beriah. These were the 4 sons of Shimi. And Yahath was the head of Ziza, the second, but Yehush and Beriah did not have many sons, so they were reckoned as one father's house. The sons of Kehaz, Amram, Yitzhar, Hebron, and Uziel 4. The sons of Amram, Aaron and Moshe, and Aaron was set apart, he and his sons forever, that he should set apart the most high place to bring incense before Yahweh, bring him, and to give the blessing in his name forever. Now Moshe, the man of Elohim, his sons were named after this tribe of Levi. The sons of Moshe, Gershom and Eleazar. The sons of Amram, Aharon and Moshe, and Aharon was set apart, he and his sons forever, that he should set apart the most set apart to burn incense before Yahweh, to serve him, and to give the blessing in his name forever. Now Moshe, the man of Elohim, in his son was named after the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moshe, Gershom and Eleazar. The sons of Gershom, Shebuel was the head. The sons of Eleazar, Rehabiah and the head, and Eleazar had no other sons, but the sons of Rehabiah were very many. The sons of Yitzhar, Shelomith was the head. The sons of Hebron, Yeriahu was the head, Amariah the second, Yahaziel the third, and Yehamaam the fourth. The sons of Uzziel, Micah was the head, and Yeshia the second. The sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. The sons of Mali, Eliezer and Cush. Eliezer died and had no sons, but only daughters, and their brothers, the sons of Kish, took them. The sons of Mushi, Mali, Eda, and Yeremoth 3. These were the sons of Levi by their father's house, the heads of the father's house, as they were counted head by the name of their names, who did the work of the service of the house of Yahweh from the age of 24 and above. And David said, Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, has given rest to his people forever. And also of the Levites, they shall no longer bear the dwelling places or any of the vessels for its service. For by the last word of David, the Levites were numbered from 20 years old and above, because their duty was to help the sons of Aaron in the service of the house of Yahweh, in the courtyard and in the rooms. In the cleansing of all was set apart, and the work of the service of the house of Yahweh, both with the showbread and the fire floor for the grain offering, and with the unleavened cakes, that what is baked on the griddle, and with what is compared, and with all kinds of measures and sizes. Because their duty was to help the sons of Aaron in the service of the house of Yahweh, in the courtyard and in the rooms, in the cleansing of all what that was set apart, and the work of the service of the house of Elohim, both with the showbread and the fine flour for the grain offering, and with the unleavened cakes, and what is baked on the girdle, and with what is mixed, and with all kinds of measures and sizes, and to stand every morning to thank and praise Yahweh, and so at the evening, and for all the burnt offering to Yahweh on the Sabbaths and on the new moons and on the appointed times, by number according to the light ruling upon them continually before Yahweh, and that they should guard the duty of the tent of a meeting, the duty of the set apart place, and the duty of the sons of Aaron their brother in the service of the house of Yahweh. Chapter 24 of the first Chronicles. And the divisions of the sons of Aaron. The sons of Aaron were Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their father and had no children. So Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests, and David with Zadok, son of the sons of Eleazar, and Ahimelech of the sons of Ithamar, divided them according to their offices in their service. And there were more leaders found on the sons of Eleazar than of the sons of Ithamar. So they divided the son of Eleazar into 16 heads of their father's houses, and the sons of Ithamar into 8 heads of their father's houses. And they were divided by lot, one group as another, for there were officials of the set apart place and officials of Elohim from the sons of Eleazar and from the sons of Ithamar. And the scribes Shemaiah, son of Nathaniel, one of the Levites, wrote them down before the sovereigns and the rulers. And Zadok the priest and Ahimelech, son of Abiathar, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the priests and Levites, one father's house taken for Eleazar, and one for Ithamar. And the first lot came forth to Jehoiarib, the second to Jedaiah, and the third to Harim, the fourth to Seorim, the fifth to Malchiah, the sixth to Miamin, the seventh to Hakot, the eighth to Abiah, the ninth to Yeshua, the 10th to Yekaniah, the 11th to Eliashib, the 12th to Yachim, the 13th to Upah, the 14th to Yeshebab, the 15th to Bilgah, the 16th to Immer, the 17th to Hegid, the 18th to Hepitzetz, the 19th to Pedaiah, the 20th to Yehezkel, the 21st to Yakin, the 22nd to Gamul, the 23rd to Delayahu, the 24th to Mitziahu. These were the officers of their service for the coming into the house of Yahweh, according to their right ruling by the hand of Aaron their father, as Yahweh Elohim of Israel had commanded him. And the rest of the sons of Levi, of the sons of Amram, Shubael, of the sons of Shubael, Yedehiahu, concerning the Yerabiahu of the sons of Yehabiahu, the head of Yisrael, of the Israelites, Shelomoth, of the sons of Shelomoth, Yahad, of the sons of Hebron, Yeriahu was the head, Amariahu the second, Yehaziel the third, Yehamam the fourth, of the sons of Uziel, Micah, of the sons of Micah, Shamir, the brother of Micah, Yishishia, of the sons of Yishishia, Zechariah, the sons of Merari, Mali, and Mushi, the son of Yaziahu, Beno, the sons of Merari by Yaziahu. Beno and Shoham and Zakur and Ibri. Of Mali, Eleazar, who had no sons. Of Kish, the son of Kish, Yerachmeel, and the son of Mushi, Mali, Eder, and Yerimoth. These were the sons of the Levites according to their fathers' houses. These also cast lots, they too, as their brothers, the sons of Aharon, in the presence of sovereign David, and Zadok and Ahimelech, and the heads of the father's house of the priest, and the Levites, the head of the fathers, as well as his younger brothers. Chapter 25. And David and the commanders of the army separated for the service some of the sons of Asaph, and of Heman, and of Yeduthun, who should prophesy with lyres, with harps, and with cymbals. And the number of the workmen according to their service was: of the sons of Asaph, Zakur, and Yosef, and Yedaniah. Of Yeduthun, the sons of Yeduthun, Gedaliahu, of Seri, and Yeshayahu, Hashabiahu, and Mattiyahu, 6 under the hands of their father Yeduthun, who prophesied with their lyre to give thanks and to praise Yahweh. Of Heman, the sons of Heman, Buchiahu, Mattiyahu, Uzziel, Shebuel, and Yerimoth, Haniahu, Hanani, Eliadar, Gidalti, and Romamti-Ezer, Yoshbehasha, Malodi, Hodir, Mahazi, Yod. All these were the sons of Heman, the sovereign seers in the house of Elohim, to exalt his horn. For Yahweh gave Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these were at the hands of their father for the song in the house of Yahweh, with cymbals, harps, and lyres for the service of the house of Yahweh. Asaph, Yeduthun, and Heman at the hand of the sovereign. And the number of them with their brothers were taught in the songs of Yahweh, all who were skilled, and 288. And they cast lot for their duty, the small as well as the great, the teacher with the student. And the first lot for Asaph came forth for Joseph, Gedaliahu the second, he and his brother and sons 12. The third Zakur, his sons and his brothers 12. The fourth Yitzri, his sons and his brothers 12. The fifth Nethanyahu, his sons and his brothers 12. 6 Buchiahu, his sons and his brothers 12. The seventh Yesarilah, his sons and his brothers 12. The eighth Yeshayahu, his sons and his brothers 12. The ninth Mattiyahu, his sons and his brothers 12. The 10th Shimi, his sons and his brothers 12. The 11th Azariel, his son and his brothers 12. The 12th Hashabiah, his brother and his sons and his brothers 12. The 13th Shubael, his sons and his brothers 12. The 14th Mattiyahu, his sons and his brothers 12. The 16th Hananiahu, his sons and his brothers 12. The 17th Yoshbehasha, his sons and his brothers 12. The 18th Hanani, his son and his brothers 12. The 19th Malodi, his sons and his brothers 12. The 20th Eliadar, his sons and his brothers 12. The 21st Hodir, his son and his brothers 12. The 22nd Gidalti, his sons and his brothers 12. The 23rd Mahaziot, his son and his brothers 12. The 24th Romamti-Ezer, his sons and his brothers 12. Chapter 26. For the divisions of the gatekeepers of the Hophites, Meshemiahu, sons of Hore, the sons of Asaph, and the sons of Meshemiahu, Zechariahu, the firstborn, Yediael, the second, Zebadiahu, the third, Yadniel, the fourth, Elam, the fifth, Yehohanan, the sixth, Elionai, the seventh, and the sons of Obed-Edom, Shemaiah, the firstborn, Yehozabad, the second, Yoah, the third, Sakar, the fourth, Nethaniel, fifth, Amiel, the sixth, Issachar, the seventh, Pelueldai, the eighth, for Elohim blessed him. Also to Shemaiah his son were sons born who ruled their father's houses, because they were able mighty men. The sons of Shemaiah, Othni and Raphael and Obed, Elzabad, whose brothers Elihu and Semachiahu were able men. All these were of the sons of Obed-Edom, they and their sons and their brothers, able men with strength for the work, 62 of Obed-Edom. And Meshemliahu had sons and brothers, 18 able men. Also Hosa of the children of Merari had sons. Shimri the head, although he was not the firstborn, his father made him the head. Hilkiahu the second, Tebaliahu the third, Zechariahu the fourth, all the sons and the brothers of Hosa were 13. These divisions of the gatekeepers among the chief men had duties like their brothers to serve in the house of Yahweh. And they cast lots for each gate, the small as well as the great, according to their father's house. And the lot to the east fell to Shelemiahu. Then they cast lot for his son Zechariahu, a wise counselor, and his lot came out to the north, to Obed-Edom to the south, and to his sons the storehouse, to Shupim and Hosa to the west, with the Shalecheth gate on the ascending highway, Gad corresponding with Gad. On the east were 6 Levites, on the north 4 each day, on the south 4 each day, and for the storehouse 2 by 2. As for the Parbar on the west, there were 4 on the highway and 2 on the Parbar. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers among the sons of Korah and among the sons of Merari. And of the Levites, Ahiah was over the treasuries of the house of Elohim and over the treasuries of the set-apart gifts. The sons of Ladan, the sons of the Gershonites of Ladan, heads of their father's house of Ladan, the Gershonite Yehieli. The sons of Yehieli, Zedam, and Joel his brother were over the treasuries of the house of Yahweh. Of the Amramites, the Israelites, the Yitzharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites. Even Shebuel son of Gershom, son of Moshe, was overseer of the treasuries. And his brothers by Eleazar were Rehabiahu his son, and Yeshahiahu his son, and Joram his son, and Zikri his son, and Shelomoth his son. This Shelomoth and his brothers were over all the treasuries of the set-apart gifts, with sovereign David and the head of fathers' houses, the commanders over thousands and hundreds, and commanders of the army had set apart. Some of the booty won in battles they set apart to maintain the house of Yahweh. And all that Shemuel the seer, and Shaul son of Kish, and Abner son of Ner, and Joab son of Ruhiah had set apart, all who were setting apart was under the hand of Shelomith and his brothers. Of the Israelites, Kenyahu and his sons were for the outward duties as officials and judges over Israel. Of the Hebronites, Hashabiahu and his brothers, 1,700 able men, had the oversight of Israel beyond the Yarden westward, for all the work of Yahweh, and in the service of the sovereign. Of the Hebronites, Yeriah was the head of Hebronites according to his genealogy. Of the fathers, in the 14th year of the reign of David, they were sought, and they were found among them able men at Yazer of Gilead. And his brothers were 2,700 able men, heads of fathers' houses, whose sovereign David made officials over the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh in all matters of Yahweh and matters of the sovereign. Chapter 27. And the children of Israel, according to their number, the head of father's house, and the commanders of thousands and hundred, and their officers, served the sovereign in all matters of the divisions which came in and went out month by month throughout all the month of the year, each division having 24,000. Over the first division for the first month was Yashoboam, son of Yabdiel, and his division were 24,000 of the son of Perez, and chief of all commanders of army for the first month. And over the division of the second month was Dodai, and Ahohite, and of his division Michloth, also the leader, and his division were 24,000. The third commander of the army for the third month was Benaiah, son of Jehoiada the priest, who was chief, and in his division were 24,000. This was the Benaiah who was mighty among the 30, and was over the 30, and his division was Amizabad his son. The fourth for the fourth month was Asahel, the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah his son after him, and in his division were 24,000. The fifth for the fifth month was Shamhu the Yizrahite, and in his division were 24,000. The sixth for the sixth month was Ira, son of Ichesh the Tehoite, and in his divisions were 24,000. The seventh for the seventh month was Helet the Pelonite of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The eighth for the eighth month was Sibekai the Hushathite of the Zarhites, and in his divisions were 24,000. The ninth for the ninth month was Abiezer the Anathothite of the Bithamites, and in his divisions were 24,000. The 10th for the 10th month was Maharai the Netophathite of the Zarphites, and in his division were 24,000. The 11th for the 11th month was Benaiah the Pirathonite of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 12th for the 12th month was Heldai the Netophathite of Othniel, and in his division were 24,000. And over the tribes of Israel, the chief officers over Reuben, Eleazar, son of Zikri, over Shimon, Shephatiah, son of Maacah, Levi, Hashabiah, son of Hemuel, over Aharon Sadok, Yehuda, Elihu, one of David's brother, Issachar, Omri, son of Michael, Zebulun, Ishmayahu, son of Obadiah, Naphtali, Yerimoth, son of Aziel. The children of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Azaziah, the half-tribe of Manasseh, son of Joel, son of Pedaiah. The half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Edo, son of Zechariah, Binyamin, Yaasiel, son of Abner. Dan, Azarel, son of Jeroboam. Dan, Azel, son of Jeroham. These were the rulers of the tribes of Israel. But David did not take the number of these 20 years old and under because Yahweh had said he would increase Israel like the stars of the heavens. Joab, son of Zeruiah, began a census, but he did not finish, for wrath came upon Israel because of his census, nor was the numbers recorded in the account of the annals of the sovereign David. And as Mawed, son of Adiel, was over the sovereign's treasuries, and Jehonathan, son of Uzziahu, was the son of storehouses in the field, in the cities, and in the villages, and in the watchtowers. And Ezri, son of Kerub, was over those who did the work of the field for tilling the ground. And Shimni the Ramathite was over the vineyard, and Zabdi the Shiftite was over the increase of the vineyard for the wine cellars. And Baalhanan the Gederite was over the olive trees and the sycamore trees that were in the low country, and Joash was over the oil stores, and Shitrai the Sharonite was over the herds that fed in Sharon, and Shaphat son of Aldai was over the herds that were in the valleys, and Obi the Shimalite was over the camels, and Yedeyahu the Meronothite was over the donkeys, and Yazis the Hagrite was over the flocks. All of these were heads of the property of sovereign David. Also, Yohanathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a wise man, and a scribe, and Yehiziel, son of Hakmoni, was with the sovereign's son, and Ahithomel was the sovereign's counselor, and Hushai the Archite was the sovereign companion, and after Ahithophel was Jehoiada, son of Benaiah, then Abiathar, and the chief of the sovereign army was Joab. Chapter 28. And David assembled at Jerusalem all the rulers of Israel, the rulers of the tribes, and the commanders of the divisions who served the sovereign, the commanders over the thousands, and commanders over hundreds, and commanders over all the properties and possessions of the sovereign and of his sons, with the officials, the mighty men, and all mighty brave men. Then sovereign David rose to his feet and said, Hear me, O my brothers and my people. I had in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and for the footstool of our Elohim, and I had made preparation to build it. But Elohim said to me, You do not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of battle and have shed blood. And yet Yahweh Elohim of Israel chose me above all the house of my father to be sovereign over Israel forever. For he has chosen Yehudah to be the ruler, and of the house of Yehudah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father, he was pleased with me to make the reign over all Israel. And all my sons, for Yahweh has given many sons, he has chosen my son Shelomo to sit on the throne of the reign of Yahweh over Israel. And said to me, Shelomo, your son is the one to build my house and my courtyard, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I myself and am a father to him. And I shall establish his reign forever, if he is strong to do my commands and my right ruling, as it is this day. And now, before the eyes of all Israel and the assembly of Yahweh, all in the hearing of Elohim, guard and seek all the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, so that you possess this good land and leave it as an inheritance for your children after you forever. As for you, my son Shelomo, know that Elohim your father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a pleasing life. For Yahweh searches all hearts and understands all the intents of the thoughts. If you do not seek him, he is found by you, but if you forsake him, he rejects you forever. See, now, for Yahweh has chosen you to build a house for the set apart. Be strong and do it. And David gave his son Shlomo the plans of that porch and his house, and its house, and its treasury, and its upper rooms, and its inner room, and the place of atonement, and the plans for all that he had by the Spirit of the courtyard of the house of Yahweh, and of all the rooms of all around, of the treasuries of the house of Elohim, and of the treasuries for the set apart gift, and for the divisions of the priests and the Levites, and for all the works of the service of the house of Yahweh, and for all the vessels of the service of the house of Yahweh, even gold by the weight of utensils of the gold, for all utensils used every kind of service, for silver, for all utensils of silver by weight, for all utensils used in every kind of service, and by weight for the lampstand of gold, and the lamp of gold by weight for each lampstand and its lamps, and for the lampstand for silver by weight for the lampstand and its lamps, according to the use of each lampstand, and by weight gold for the tables of the shewbread for each table, and silver for the table of silver, and clean gold for forks, and the basins, and the jars of clean gold, and the golden bowls by weight for every bowl, and for the silver bowls, silver by weight for every bowl, and refined gold by weight for the altar of increase, and for the pattern of the chariots and the cold cherubim, spreading out the wings and covering over the arks of the covenants of Yahweh. Yahweh made me understand all this in writing by his hand upon me, all the work of this plan. And David said to his son Shlomo, be strong and courageous, and do it. Do not fear nor be afraid, for Yahweh Elohim, my Elohim, is with you. He shall not leave you nor forsake you, until you have completed all the work for the service of the house of Yahweh. And see, the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of Yahweh, and every volunteer of any skill is with you in all work, for every kind of service, and the rulers and all the people are entirely at your command. Chapter 29. And David the sovereign said to all the assembly, my son Shlomo, the one whom Elohim has chosen, is young and tender, and the work is great, because the palace is not for man but for Yahweh Elohim. And with all my power I have prepared for the house of my Elohim the gold for the gold, and the silver for the silver, and the bronze for the bronze, and the iron for the iron, and the wood for the wood, to harm stones and settings, and the fair stones of the various colors, and all kinds of precious stones, and marble slabs in large quantities. And also because I delighted in the house of my Yahweh Elohim, I have treasure of gold and silver. I give for the house of my Elohim even more than all that I have prepared for the set apart house. 3,000 talents of gold of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver to overlay the walls of the house. The gold for the gold, and silver for the silver, and for all kind of work to be done by the hands of craftsmen. Who then is moved to fill his hand today for Yahweh? And the leaders of the fathers' houses, and the leaders of the tribe of Israel, and the commanders of the thousands and of hundreds, with the heads over the sovereign's work, volunteered, and gave for the work of the house of Elohim 5,000 talents, and 10,000 darics of gold, and 10,000 talents of silver, and 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. And those with whom were found precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of Yahweh, into the hand of Yehiel the Gershonite. And the people rejoiced, for they had given voluntarily, because with a perfect heart they had given voluntarily to Yahweh. And David the sovereign also rejoiced greatly. And David blessed Yahweh before all the assembly. And David said, blessed are you, Yahweh Elohim of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Yahweh, is the greatness, the power, and the comeliness, the preeminence, and the excellency, because of all that is in the heavens and in the earth. Yours is the reign, O Yahweh, and you are exalted as head above all. And the riches and the esteem come from your presence, and you rule over all. And in your hand is power and might, and in your hand to make great and to give strength to all. And now, our Elohim, we thank you and praise your comely name. But who am I, and who are my people, that we should be able to give so voluntarily as this? For all come from you, and we have given to you out of your hand. For we are sojourners and pilgrims before you, as we all our fathers, our days on earth are as shallow and without permanence. O Yahweh our Elohim, all this store that we have prepared to build you a house for your set apart name is from your hand, and all is of you. And I know, my Elohim, that you are trying the heart of the and desire of uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart, I have voluntarily given all this, and now with joy I have seen your people who are present here to give voluntarily to you. O Yahweh Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our fathers, guard this forever in the intent of the thoughts of the hearts of your people, and prepare their hearts toward you. And give my son Shlomo a perfect heart to guard your commandments. Your commands and your witness and your laws, and do all, and build the palace for which I have prepared. And David said to all the assembly, Now Yahweh your Elohim, and all the assembly blessed Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, and bestowed their heads and did obeisance to Yahweh and the sovereign. And they made offering to Yahweh, and offered burnt offering to Yahweh on the next day, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, with their drink offering, and slaughtering in large numbers for all Israel. And they ate and drank before Yahweh with great joy on that day, and set up Shlomo son of David to reign the second time, and anointed him before Yahweh to be leader, and Zadok to be priest. And Shlomo sat on the throne of Yahweh as the sovereign instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And all the rulers and the mighty men, and all the sons of sovereign David submitted themselves to Shlomo the sovereign. And Yahweh exalted Shlomo exceedingly in the eyes of all Israel, and put upon him such royal splendor, and as had not been on any sovereign before him in Israel. Thus David son of Yishai reigned over all Israel. And the days that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron, and he reigned 33 years in Jerusalem. And he died in a good old age, satisfied with days, riches, and esteem, and Shlomo his son reigned in his place. And the act of sovereign David, first and last, see, they are written in the book of Shemuel the seer, the book of Nathan the prophet, and the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his might, and the times that passed over him, and over Israel, and over all the reigns of the lands. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the first Chronicles, or the first Divrei Hayamim, and I'm grateful for you being with me till the end. Kindly stay tuned in the first episode and the second episode of the second Chronicles, or the second Divrei Hayamim, in this journey of reading the scripture. Be blessed. And if you haven't subscribed to Yahweh Salvation Media YouTube, Messianic Davasho YouTube, and Injili ya Milele ya Yashua Mesia YouTube, follow Victor Kiiru. Kindly do that if you haven't already. Thank you very much. My name is Joseph Mchenga.